Dragonborn, of course I'm sure. What, the baby? Or you becoming Empress? What are you going to do? Well, I don't want to have the baby here. I want to go home. You're the last Dragonborn, the rightful heir to the throne. Blackwell said it himself. I need you now more than ever. Please, don't leave me here alone. Please take me home, Dragonborn. Let's have Blackwell look after things here. If he needs us, he can send for us.
Majesty, my lady.
Here he is. Ask him. Ask him about what happens next.
Well, there will be a small interim phase so correspondence can be sent to those that need to be informed, such as dignitaries and the royal houses of Tamriel. They shall be invited to the coronation, which in this case I suggest be arranged at the same time, as Rigmor is now the High Queen of Cyrodiil. But first, we need to protect the integrity of our queen and the child. So, first I suggest Rigmor takes up the name of the House of Mead.
Rigmor Mead? Yeah, right.
It might only be a temporary change, but also a necessary one. Majesty, depending on how we go forward from here, I have another suggestion. I suggest you arrange a marriage at the soonest opportunity. You, as the last Dragonborn, are the rightful heir to the throne. As soon as I heard of your accomplishments, I knew it was fact. That not only were you gifted the Thuum, but also with the ability to absorb the souls of dragons. That you were anointed by Akatosh himself as the rightful heir, before even taking the crown. If you find that arrangement to be impossible for whatever reason, there are alternative ways to proceed. A partnership or friendship ceremony for the child's sake. It would not be binding, and you could both live separate lives, where there is an understanding between you and shared responsibilities, especially if you decide to cede. Or you could cede the crown. Rigmor becomes Empress, and you go back to what you were doing before. Understood. My lady?
The Dragonborn and I shall return to Bruma for the time being, and leave you in charge as caretaker. Maybe Titus Mead II will return someday. We will of course comply with anything you ask of us.
Of course, my lady. As the former Countess of Bruma, administration will pass to Sigun. Bruma will, by default, become a royal city and imperial place of residence. There is a small matter that needs to be attended to, but that can wait for the time being. I'm sure both of you need time to adjust to the new situation you find yourselves in. The traitors Leowin, Cheydinhal, and Coral have all been dealt with, permanently, and the houses of Coral and Cheydinhal, for the time being, have passed on to their next of kin.
Leowin?
Leowin is in need of a new count. I suggest Cassius Varon. It is imperative we have someone we can trust, implicitly, His naval expertise would suit the county and protect the Niben Bay, especially as the disbanded bandit army has gone to ground in the border regions of Blackmarsh, elsewhere in Valenwood. Of course, Quintus was another option to consider, but with growing tensions in Hammerfell, it would be prudent to have him remain there for the time being. So be it. I shall get onto it at once. I shall arrange the necessary correspondence announcing the change of dynasty and forthcoming coronation to be sent to whom it may concern. So expect immediate interest and requests for parley, especially from the Elder Council in exile and the Aldmeri Dominion, who I suspect will want to discuss the restoration of the White Gold Concordant.
Yeah, right.
Lady Rigmor, take this opportunity to relax as best you can. Of course, return home to Bruma. But soon, whether you like it or not, you will need to adapt and come to terms with your new situation. Once you reach to the far corners of Nern, and you address the foreign dignitaries and your subjects, you must respect their expectations and act accordingly, befitting a queen.
Hey, I'm not the Empress, and I put up with this kind of stuff from Malisab long enough, so drop it, Blackwell.
But you are still the queen. Rightfully so, as the Dragonborn is the rightful heir to the Imperial throne by right of combat. I realize this situation is not perfect, or even expected. I am sure it comes as a surprise to all of us, but here we are. It's not the first time in the history of monarchies that things have turned out exceptional. But we must all agree that the recent events that have brought us here are indeed exceptional.
I'm sorry. I'm just worried, I guess. I don't know.
Rigmor, I have been on the receiving end of your diplomatic parley. You have proven, beyond doubt, your ability to lead, to strategize, to stand up, shoulders back, head held high in the face of overwhelming odds. And with the Dragonborn by your side? If it's peace you want, if it's a home to go where you can raise a child in safety, you have a place alongside the Dragonborn to make this real, to make it a success, because no one is going to make that success for you. So please, do take the time to return to Bruma, appoint a lady-in-waiting, and send her here to the palace as to arrange the royal suite. I take it you have dealt with Sir Robert? Then I leave his fate up to you. If you will permit me, I have matters to attend to. I shall send word if something important comes up and your presence is required. My lady, Rigmor.
Dragonborn. How do you feel about all this? You? Unsure? I understand. I really do. We share a destiny. I know that. We have both suffered from amnesia. I don't know what I would have done if you hadn't been there for me. Been there for all of us. I know I'm not perfect. But you've always been there to carry me when I fall, to put me back together when I'm broken. I would do the same for you in a heartbeat. I'll always have your back. And I want you to know you are kind and stronger than you know. You're my Dragonborn. And I'll protect you always. I love you too. Can you take me home now? You know what I mean.
Yeah, I think I'm good. Sure. Okay.
Yes, I haven't got all day.
The dragon would wait. What are we going to tell my mom? I mean, we can't just go back there and say, "Hey Mom, guess what? I'm pregnant with the Dragonborn's baby." I'm just worried, I guess. But we don't have much time before I start showing. What then? Dragonborn, are you proposing to me? Okay, let's go then.
Rigmor! Mom!
Ingol informed us of Lerwin's defeat. There seems to be some confusion regarding the outcome of the, yes, the war.
We went to parley at the Emperor's request. The Emperor, attacked Dragonborn.
By the gods, what happened?
I think it's plainly obvious. I take it things didn't end well for him.
Dragonborn is now the Empress of Cyrodiil and the Empire.
My word.
Your most imperial royal majesty.
There will be a coronation after the interim phase, so Blackwell can make the necessary arrangements for the coronation. Come on, let's all sit down.
Forgive me, your majesty, as this has come as a bit of a shock.
You got that right.
Indeed. But what about you, my lady?
I am the new High Queen of Cyrodiil. Seems there was something in that prophecy after all, Frithov. Bruma is to become a royal city, so nothing would need change here, apart from my name.
Change your name, child? What do you mean?
Blackwell wants me to change my name to Rigmor Mead before the coronation.
Might I make one small suggestion? As you know, Carice and myself have always worked tirelessly to protect and serve the descendants of Morgan of Winterhold.
Your point?
Morgan, as you know, was the first child of Titus Mead I. You could respect her memory of that by assuming the name of Rigmor Morgan Mead. It has a nice ring to it, don't you think? Don't you think?
Thanks, Sam. You know, I really like that.
But what I don't understand is, how is all of this going to work out? If Rigmor is the High Queen of Cyrodiil, then Your Majesty must not only be the Empress, but also the High Queen.
What of the prophecy, my child? Are you...
Mom, we need to talk.
Rigmor? What is it? Is there something wrong?
In private.
What happened, Your Majesty? And what about Morag? And my mistress? My word.
The Dragonborn and Boethia versus Molag Bal and his minions. Who would ever conceive of such an epic event? What then, Majesty? I take it you went straight after Leowen?
But you mentioned the Falmor. I know of him. Of course, I haven't been back to the Isles for many years, but the family is well known. Lelandril, I think. Yes, that's where his family hail from. Very well respected.
What about the Red Diamond? Did you pick it up? Jonte was telling us about... Oh.
Ah, yes. Apparently the destruction of the Bridge of Sighs would ultimately cause it to collapse in upon itself. Didn't Sefri tell you that would occur if the Soul Gem reached its zenith? If the Soul Gem were allowed to reach its zenith, destroying itself, it would indeed have caused a rift. But also, it would have left behind a black diamond. If it had, an amulet of kings made of it would have been able to reverse the sacrifice of Martin's septim, not only allowing Daedra to pass into the mortal world along with Cold Harbor, but also to banish the gods. Thankfully you destroyed it in time, but instead of leaving a black diamond, it would have left a red diamond in its place. An amulet of kings made with a red diamond? We're not entirely sure.
Only the Chosen One could wear it. Whether the diamond was black or red makes no difference. But we can assume it could be used to relight the dragon fires, and it could result in many outcomes. Banish both the Divines and Daedra for meddling in the affairs of mortals completely. Possibly it could equalize the influence of them, but at a reduced amount, strengthening the sacrifice of Martin's septim. It would, of course, be useless without the fulfillment of the prophecy, and we talked about that before, Majesty. By the gods! Majesty!
But that's impossible. You're a woman. How?
I knew it! There is nothing the gods cannot do if they so wish it.
Of course, that would put everything in order and make things right.
No one need know Lady Rigmor is pregnant before the wedding. We keep this to ourselves. Majesty, does Lady Rigmor know what fate awaits her?
Born, I'm going to the cathedral to gather my thoughts for a little while. Maybe, I don't know, find some solace. When you're done here, would you come get me? Okay.
Poor girl. So, Master Freofoth, what fate awaits her? Please do share.
Majesty?
Well, no wonder the poor girl needs to find solace.
What? How? Of course. Forgive me. It must be a trying time for both of you.
Majesty, let us hope the gods keep their word, for all our sakes. And in the meantime, I'll send that ruffian, that scoundrel, that rapscallion Jimmy Tenfingers to search Nagasel for the diamond. It should still be there, unless... Unless, of course, someone else knew in advance what would occur. But for the present, perhaps it would be best to speak to Sigrun to alleviate any concerns about the future she might have. Majesty?
Come, Dragonborn. Is there something wrong? Well met.
I'll leave you both alone and wait outside in the hallway.
Please take a seat. Now, what is it, Dragonborn? Please continue. Something the matter? I've noticed how Rigmor looks at you, follows you around like a lost little puppy. I have only ever wanted the best for her, and because of you, we can all live normal, happy lives. Don't be afraid to ask. You are, and always will be, part of our family. Of course, you both have my blessing. This is so exciting! Have you both decided where you'll get married? I know of a small chapel. That's so lovely. We can hold the banquet and celebrations afterward here at the castle. It's such a pity Ragnar isn't here to give her away. He would be so very proud of you both. Don't worry, leave that to me. Now go. Make sure you choose the right dress. The best place is at the Imperial City. She will also need a veil and tiara.
Who is to be your man of honor?
Please don't invite that obnoxious elf. Then go, with my blessing, and prepare for the big day. Farewell, Dragonborn.
Majesty, is there anything I can do to help? Please, let me help. I know exactly the dress she would want to wear at the ceremony. I have to travel to the Imperial City to speak to Blackwell, and to pick up some items for my father. Lady Rigmor has appointed me her lady-in-waiting once she moves to the palace. I need to arrange my new quarters. I could pick up the dress. That would save you time. Do you have a ring in mind? Know about the child? Yes, they talked about it. I think Lady Sigurd's fears for her and the child would now have been made a lot less stressful. Now you have honoured her with her blessing. Lady Sigurd might not show it, but with all that's happened lately, it has taken its toll on her. I will. Did Rigmor tell you she was going to try and find solace at the cathedral? How about you, Majesty? Are you coping all right with all that's happened recently? My apologies. I didn't mean to offend. Majesty.
Hey, Dragonborn. What took you so long? I was just thinking about, how we ended up here. It's strange. Because all that we just went through, it just seems like... I don't know, a long time ago. I came here because it might help stop the thoughts in my head. I'm just racing around and around. But it just keeps going on and on, like all this noise. And it won't stop, Dragonborn. It won't stop. It's not like you haven't probably got the same thing happening to you too, right? And here I am, going on as if I'm the only one in the world with some kind of divine burden. I came here because I thought if I prayed, if I asked for mercy, then maybe the gods might let me live. Yeah, I know. Dragonborn, I don't want to die. Okay. Well, shall we ask them? I mean, we're all here, right? Hey! Yes, you! Gods! Here I am, your chosen queen, Rigmor Morgan Mead, High Queen of Cyrodiil. Here I am, right here, so don't be shy. I dare you to show your faces here. What are you afraid of? Why won't you show yourselves? Haven't you taken enough? My childhood, my future, and now you want to take my life? I want to live. I won't let you take my baby. I won't let you mess up her life like you did mine. She never asked for any of this. Come on! Come on, you cowards! Where are you hiding? Are you afraid of me? I only wanted to live a normal life. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Yes. I'm sorry. What? I understand. I can. But I'm scared. Yes. I understand. I love her. I think I already knew that. I'll try. I will. I promise. It's all right, Dragonborn. Everything is going to be all right. No, What? I can't explain it. I was filled with a sense of overwhelming love. And that everything was going to be all right. And not to worry. But there was also something else. I could feel sorrow. No, remorse? I felt a deep sadness, Dragonborn. Dragonborn, I love you. Yes, of course. Have you spoken to my mother? You know I want a white wedding, right? Here, in this cathedral. Yeah, well, I will need time to choose a dress. Are you kidding? Dragonborn, it has to be perfect. Duh. Oh, I am so looking forward to the ring. You do have an idea for the ring, right? Have you heard of the legend of the white gold, diamond, and ruby-encrusted ring of the lost alien princess Pilvi-Hanesh? Dragonborn. Don't tell me you haven't heard of the legend of the white gold, diamond, and ruby-encrusted ring of the lost alien princess Pilvi-Hanesh. This is going to be the best wedding ever. I am so excited. You know I love you more than anything, right? So, who's going to be your second? You know, weddings and ceremonies usually require either a best man or woman or person of honor, that sort of thing. Well, you do know that now that you've proposed we can't see each other, right? Until the wedding day? Nuh-uh. None of that. I have a lot of organizing to do. Well, actually, you have a lot of organizing to do. When you have everything ready and arranged, send your best man to talk to Carice. Bye!
Majesty, we have been looking everywhere for you. Court Advisor Malison and I have been trying to locate Jimmy Tenfingers, but he is nowhere to be found. We would send Captain Grimbold, but he's feeling under the weather. To Nagasel. The diamond?
Ah, Majesty, it seems we have found ourselves in the most unfortunate situation. We can't seem to locate that scallywag, Jimmy.
Jimmy Tenfingers.
Ah, yes, thank you, Master Freofoff. Yes, him. Anywhere, really. We thought you might have an idea on how to proceed.
Yeah,
Majesty, we could not allow it. You are far too important a person to risk yourself where bottom crawlers may be lurking. Speaking of which, we could send Sefri. He enjoys travelling to far-flung, desolate corners of Tamriel, rubbing shoulders with scurrilous vermin. And he's been there before as well, so he knows his way around a little bit, you know. And he's been there before. Well, that settles it then. Please excuse me, a warm fire and a plate of hot food are calling, and my bones are not suited to being out in the cold for too long. Majesty?
Sefri is in Skyrim as far as I know. But if your Majesty needs anything else? Aha, that's quite a story to tell. Please, may I suggest we find a nice warm corner inside the Tap and Tack?
Welcome to the Tap and Tack. Please, make yourself a home.
Now then, Pilvi Hinesh. Yes. She was an Ayleid princess when the Wild Elves ruled Cyrodiil many millennia ago. Originally, the Ayleids worshipped the Aedra, like most of the civilized world. Their main god was Auriel. But slowly over time, the Ayleids forsook their old gods and began worshipping the Daedra. But Pilvi Hinesh remained loyal and devoted to Auriel, and took the last of the Aedra-worshipping Ayleids out of Cyrodiil and settled in Hammerfell. They built a city for themselves, away from the madness of the king, who was madly in love with Pilvi. He promised her everything to come back, even that he would forsake the Daedra if only she would love him. Pilvi spurned the king, and his retribution was cruel and absolute. The king tried one last time to win Pilvi's heart. He arrived at Nyasel and promised her anything she wanted in return for her love. He begged and threw himself at her feet. Again she spurned the king, and in his rage he called upon the powers of the Dark Lord Molag Bal. The city the princess had built she named Nyasel, the Hall of Life, and it is said Auriel blessed the very ground Pilvi walked upon. In 2 nights he buried the city deep under the earth. The ground shook and quaked, and it is said tremors could be felt as far away as Morrowind. Nyasel, the Hall of Life, was buried, forever gone from this world, and as a last deranged act of madness, the king built another city on top of the ground where once Pilvi's city stood. He called the new city Nagasel, Hall of Death. The very same. Why the interest in Pilvi Hinesh? Aha! The legendary white gold, diamond, and ruby-encrusted ring of the lost Ayleid princess Pilvi Hinesh. Why would you want to take on such a perilous task? Many have tried, and all have failed. Well, at least you get to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I fear it's time to be getting back to the keep. Farewell, Majesty. Until next time.
さん作るんだ。何か作ってもいい？ どこへ行くの？
I'm going to put you down!